Hi everybody, this is Father Moki coming to you from Good Shepherd Episcopal Church in Wailuku, Maui. Today is Thursday, July 15th, and this is Chicken Chat. We're coming to you from the chicken coop this morning because we tried to film outside and it was so windy that all my papers and everything were blowing everywhere, and that wasn't going to work, and that's why my hair is the way it is. So apologies for my appearance. I was sort of sad because, you know, we like to show chickens in the background during Chicken Chat, but we have plenty of chickens here. So this chicken that Ricky Melcher gave me from Baguio, and then this chicken from New York. These are some antique chickens that I have. They're made by Kutani. This is Esmeralda here, and she's, you know, oh, she laying eggs? Yeah, see? She's laying all her eggs. Oh, she's Pow. And then this is not a chicken. This is, you know, my head. But that was made by Lynn Jordan in Tennessee. So she sent that to me, done by felt needling. So anyway, we have lots of chickens and 2 Father Mokis. So you get 2 for the price of 1 today. We do have birthdays this week. First, Imelda de la Cruz, John Tomoso, Rosalia Casio, and Dixie Lofgren. So we say happy birthday to all of these folks, and then happy anniversary to Eddie and Sana Evangelista this week. Happy anniversary to the 2 of you. And for death anniversaries this week, we are remembering Bibiana Andres and Florencia Paguirigan. Paguirigan. I want to make sure I get that right. That is Nana Dolores' mother, grandmother of Cora and Lucy. At this time, I would like us to take a moment, please, to remember everyone on our Pastoral Care prayer list.
Aline, Barbara, Bill, Blandina, C. Robert, Carol, Catalina, Charmaine, Charlesta, Chris, Cynthia, Cora S., Darlene, Dixie L., Dolores, Donna, Elmer, Epi, Eric, Ernesto, Filomeno, Fred, Ilsun, Jacinta, Jay, Jim, Joseph, Juanita, Judy, Kevin, Christy, Librado, Maggie, Marilyn, Nelson, Paula, Paulino, Peter, Phil, Pilar, Randall, Sana, Sonia, Shirley, Sparky, Tomo.
The Almighty Lord, who is a strong tower to all who put their trust in him, to whom all things in heaven, on earth, and under earth bow and obey, be now and evermore your defense, and make you know and feel that the only name under heaven given for health and salvation is the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you very much, everyone. And now let's see. Oh, yes, the Ka'ohana Kitchen. Last week, Sana Evangelista and Eddie Evangelista were there with their classmates from St. Anthony's School, and they prepared a wonderful meal for everyone. And this week we have the Ka'ohana o Kamai, led by Leigh Sickles, who will be with us in the Ka'ohana Kitchen. Please know that I do go every Sunday to meet with the people, bless the food, and then walk around and talk to some of the patrons of Ka'ohana Kitchen who come for the meal, and that's always a wonderful thing. In terms of our other outreach ministries, the day before yesterday, the Queen Emma Athletic Club was up here. They were here early Tuesday, about noon, and doing lots of things in the weight room, lots of kids and several parents. So it's nice to see them here and using the church, and I just love that we're available to the community that way. And then also a cup of cold water. They were here yesterday, and I caught a video of them driving off on their run after talking to Deb Lynch for a little while to find out how things were going at St. John's. And evidently Andrew Walmsley, who was the chaplain at Seabury Hall right after me, is going to be doing supply work up at St. John's while they search for their new priest. Cup of cold water. Just now bear in mind, please, that this is from January to June of 2021. So the first half of this year, they served 1,307 people, gave out 1,307 bottles of water, 9,149 food items, 1,307 hygiene packs and first aid kits, clothing and towels, those kind of items. They gave out 3,750 and about 25 Bibles and daily breads. They are adding a Sunday run. During the pandemic, they've only been going out on Wednesdays, but now they're adding a Sunday run. And they're going to go out to old stops and look for new ones. So if you'd like to go on a Sunday run, and if you are vaccinated, please let either me or Deb Lynch know, because they can definitely use the help. And this is such a wonderful ministry that we do here on Maui. As always, we do have 3 worship offerings for you. 5 p.m. on Saturday's Holy Eucharist out here in the courtyard. 7 a.m. Virtual Liturgy of the Word, which launches at 7 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook and also Zoom. And then Sunday, 9 a.m. Holy Eucharist in the church sanctuary itself. So please join us for one or more of those worship offerings. Also, we do centering prayer at 4 p.m. via Zoom on Tuesday afternoons. We take some kind of reading, read it, and then talk about it, and then we pray in silence for 20 minutes. And also the Anglican Rosary, Wednesdays at 12 noon on Facebook Live. I was amazed. We had 83 views of the Anglican Rosary, and I've gotten feedback from some interesting folk who have been watching. So do take part. If you can't join at noon, then know that you can watch it anytime throughout the day. Last Sunday, a number of you commented. Oh wait, I forgot. The Bible verse for July from 1 Peter. You are free, yet you are God's slaves, so don't use your freedom as an excuse to do evil. 1 Peter 2:16. Sorry, all these chicken feathers are getting to me, and I'm having trouble. Okay, remember to hydrate, everybody. Very, very important. Last Sunday, there was a picture on the bulletin, and a number of people came up and asked about it and commented on it. It is a color image. We printed it in black and white to, of course, reduce the cost of the printing. But here it is, and we'll flash up a nice copy of that for you so that you can see what it really looked like. It's depicting the beheading of John the Baptist, and I don't know if this is Herodias or Salome up here on the right. I'm going to assume it's Herodias, making sure that the order is carried out. Also, I got word and was asked to let the congregation know that there's an affordable housing rally that's taking place on Monday, July 19th from 12 to 1. There are two locations, one in front of the Ka'ahumanu Church right up here on High Street, and another one at the same time in front of the mall on Ka'ahumanu Avenue itself. So bear in mind that the median, not average now, but median price for a home on Maui is $1.1 million. So that means that half of the homes on Maui are over $1.1 million. And that has significant impact for our children, our grandchildren. Affordable housing is going to become a very hot button issue on this island, and I think it's going to be a social justice issue because we all need places to live. So please bear that in mind. Let me see, what else do I have for you? Oh, I wanted to share a couple of photos with you of Nana Lydia Coloma, who asked for prayers for her parents this past Sunday, and so she came with their picture, and we took photos of her with her parents' picture at the baptismal font. So please be sure to take a look, and know that if you have anyone that you would like remembered, to please let me know, and also you are welcome to bring a photo that we put in front of the flowers. Let's see. First of all, for our prayers this week, in the Anglican cycle of prayer, we are remembering the Église Anglicane du Rwanda. That is the Anglican Church in Rwanda, and of course you know of the strife that has occurred in Rwanda from the iconic movie Hotel Rwanda, where there was genocide in that country. A very, very, very rough time for the folks there. Also, it's interesting to note that there are over 1 million Anglicans in Rwanda. In the United States, there are just under 2 million Anglican Episcopalians. In Rwanda, there are over 1 million Anglicans in a population of 8 million. So it's like 1/8 of the population is Anglican. That's the case in several countries on the African continent, especially Nigeria. Also Kenya, a very high number of Anglicans, and so we remember them in our prayers. And then locally in our diocese, we are going to remember St. Nicholas and St. John the Baptist and their vicar, the Reverend Jasmine Bostock, and her wife, Brianna Lloyd. Also Halal Va'a. Halal Va'a is a really interesting concept. Halal Va'a is a canoe house. And so what they do is they have affinity groups that gather. So they may have like a bowling affinity group. They gather, say prayers, go bowling. A swimming affinity group, they gather, swim. And then like a music affinity group, they gather, pray, and then play music. And then they, every Sunday then they meet, but they meet in different places to worship. And the other day I saw a picture. I went out to help Father Mark, and it was interesting. There were about 8 people, and I just saw a recent photo, and I swear to God there were 30 people in that photo. So it's going great guns, very entrepreneurial. So we remember Halal Va'a in our prayers, and their vicar Mark Hayworth and his wife Jill. So then we have a number of folk that we're remembering, and I was reading, and they're so interesting. I've struggled with what to tell you about these guys. First we have Bartolome de Lascas, missionary priest, defender of the oppressed. Why is he a defender of the oppressed? Well, he was Spanish, born in Seville, and then went to Cuba in 1502 and worked on an estate where there were a number of, what we'll call them, for lack of a better term, Indian serfs. I express it that way, and I don't want you to think that they were people from India. They were native people in Cuba. And then he was ordained priest in 1513, probably the first priest ordained in the Americas. And then in 1514, he renounced all claim on his Indian serfs and spent the rest of his life advocating for the rights of the Indians. I'm sorry, reading along. So that is Bartolome de Lascas. Then we have Macrina the Younger, monastic and teacher. And I remember Basil the Great, and he was a monk, and he founded all these houses, and he is considered the father of monasticism. But what we often overlook is that the community of monks organized by Basil was preceded and inspired by a community of nuns organized by his sister Macrina. So she did all the legwork, and then Basil got all the credit for establishing all these houses. So we remember Macrina the Younger. Then we have four ladies grouped into one. I'm not sure why this is done this way, but Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Amelia Bloomer, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Ross Tubman. Sojourner Truth was born a slave in New York, and then she, with the help of Quaker abolitionists, escaped and then advocated for freedom. So she traveled around advocating for abolition, which is why she's called Sojourner. She sojourned. I know that she's buried in Battle Creek, Michigan, because I went to her grave when I was there visiting a friend. Then Harriet Ross Tubman, of course, who was a slave and part of the Underground Railroad. If you want to know more about her, I commend to you the movie Harriet with Cynthia Erivo. Very, very moving tribute to Harriet Ross Tubman. Then we have Elizabeth Cady Stanton, reared in the Presbyterian Church, and she denounced the clergy of her day for not upholding women's rights. You know, we have to say very good for her. All right, Amelia Jenks Bloomer. She was also a Presbyterian, and she was an advocate and activist for anti-slavery, anti-alcohol, and women's votes movements. And Bloomer, you know, there's this underwear called bloomers. Well, you know, back in her day, the women wore very tight corsets around their waist, and then they had these like long flowing skirts that got caught and got soiled in the streets, and was really bad because there were horses and carriages back then, and you know what horses do on roads, and then the skirts would sweep them up. So she invented these comfortable pantaloons that were called bloomers, and so she's also noted for that. So that's Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Amelia Bloomer, Sojourner Truth, and Harriet Ross Tubman. Then we have Maria Skobstova. She's a monastic and martyr. She was martyred in 1945. Okay, so she was born in Russia, and she was married twice. And then after her second marriage, that failed, and so she went to Paris. And while she was in Paris, she became a nun. And then when World War II broke out, you know, France was occupied, but the Nazis just kind of went in. They didn't really have to fight to get it. But there was a resistant movement in France during the Nazi occupation. And so what she did was she worked with a priest, and they issued baptism certificates to Jewish people so that they could escape extermination by the Nazis. And then she got caught, and because of that, she was sent to the gas chambers. So that's Maria Stova. What's interesting about her is, she died this horrible death after doing this very, very righteous work of resistance. But the pictures that we have of her, she's smiling. She just looks like such a pleasant person. Then we have Albert John Luthuli, prophetic witness in South Africa, and he became president of the African National Congress, and was awarded the 1960 Nobel Peace Prize for his role in the non-violent struggle against apartheid. So that is Albert John Luthuli. Then all of a sudden we have like these sort of what I would call contemporary folk. In other words, like, a lot of these people were alive when my mother was born. And then we have Mary Magdalene, first witness to the resurrection. I don't think I have to unpack this too much, but she was in the garden beside the tomb, and the one to whom Jesus revealed himself, and she also was at his side through a lot of his ministry. So we remember Mary Magdalene. By the way, there is no place in the Bible that says that she was a prostitute, so I would like to debunk that. Then we have John Cassian, born in Marseille, and he was a desert father. Let's see, what else can I say about him? I think, he wrote two major spiritual works, the Institutions and the Conferences, and he codified and transmitted the wisdom of the Desert Fathers of Egypt. So that's kind of cool, John Cassian. And then Thomas à Kempis, priest, monk, and writer. He's let's see. Oh, yeah, he is known for composing or compiling a manual of spiritual advice called The Imitation of Christ, where we are encouraged to follow the example of Christ and live a Christ-like life. So that is Thomas à Kempis. Phew. It's a lot of people we're praying for this week. So anyway, with that, everybody, now's the time you've all been waiting for. The chicken of the week. The chicken of the week. I was down walking at the park, and there was a mother hen and her chicks, and they were walking around the park and being very proud and getting a lot of attention. And the mother hen was all white, and then the chicks, there were 7 of them. So for this week, we named the chickens of the week Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Whistle while you work, everybody, and have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.